It's the 1st of December and it's match week 14 in the Premier League. The games are coming, thick and fast. Can't lie, it's going to be an interesting game week. So let's get straight into these predictions. First up, tomorrow night on Tuesday night, we got Bournemouth versus Everton. Both teams will be in desperate need of a win here, can't lie. However, Bournemouth, in their last 4 games in November, they've lost 3 and drawn 1. They were 2-0 up against Sunderland and just threw it away. Can't lie. Bournemouth will be needing 3 points here. I can't lie. Everton, look. Now, Everton have been a hit and miss, in my opinion, because went from winning against Manchester United to now getting battered by Newcastle. To be honest, I can only see one winner here. And look, Bournemouth have been very good at home this season, by the way. I'm going to back him here. I'm going to go for score prediction of Bournemouth 2, Everton 1. Next up, we got Fulham facing Manchester City. Now, Fulham have picked up a massive 3 points away at Tottenham, on Saturday night. They managed to hold on after conceding. And look, they won back-to-back games, and they're in 15th right now. A few points clear away from the relegation zone right now. However, for Manchester City, safe to say they are back in a title race right now. However, they did beat Leeds, which was not convincing though, by the way. They threw away a 2-0 lead and Phil Foden just managed to, save them from dropping points by that time, though. And to be honest, it's going to be a tough game for Fulham, However, for Manchester City, they currently sit second place, only 5 points behind Arsenal. And they have an opportunity to close the gap to 2 points if Man City were to win. And I think they're going to do it. I'm going to go for score prediction of Manchester City to win this game 2-0. Up next, we got Newcastle up against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Tottenham Hotspur, can't lie, they might be in serious trouble right now. They sit 12th in the Premier League right now. Thomas Frank is under massive pressure right now. And look, Tottenham's home form has been absolutely diabolical. However, away from home, they have been, a bit alright. But away at St. James's Park is going to be so difficult. Against Newcastle, I think it's safe to say they have managed to pick up some form right now. They even beat Everton last time out, which was probably a very good one for Eddie Howe's men. And at St. James's Park, they have been very good at home recently. And to be honest, I think Newcastle will be too much for Tottenham right now. Both teams sit 12th and 13th right now. And to be honest, I'm going to back Newcastle here on this one. So I'm going to go for a score prediction of Newcastle to win this game 3-1. On to Wednesday night, we got a London derby, Arsenal versus Brentford. Arsenal still currently sit top of the Premier League right now, only 5 points clear of Manchester City and 6 points clear ahead of Chelsea. Arsenal draw to Chelsea, last time out. They dropped points again for some reason. And look, this is Arsenal's title to lose if, they keep dropping so many points right now, though. For Brentford, look, I think Brentford have been very decent this season, They've beaten Burnley, last time out. And it's fair to say that Igor Thiago, can't lie, he's been on fantastic form. He's got 11 goals already this season. And look, he's in my FPL team. I have captained him, by the way. So, you never know. He might actually get a goal against Arsenal and make it 12 goals this season, though. However, I'm going to go for a score prediction of Arsenal 2, Brentford 0. Arsenal have been looking shaky at the back, though. So that's why I say Igor Thiago could score against Brentford. So 2-0 is my score prediction for now. Next up, we got Brighton up against Aston Villa. Now, both teams did pick up 3 points last weekend. Brighton beat Forest 2-0. And Aston Villa won 1-0 against Wolves. So Aston Villa are flying right now. Aston Villa, from around September in that period, I believe, that they were struggling. They were in the relegation zone. And now they climbed up all the way into the top 4. That is a massive turnaround for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. Brighton, so far this season, they've been a hit and miss, in my opinion, though. But they are actually very good, this season. They're still a decent side, though. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Up next, we got Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Burnley, look, safe to say that they will probably go down this season in being relegated because they sit 19th place right now. And look, they've lost their last 4 games in a row in around November. And look, it's not looking good for Scott Parker's, men and Burnley. Crystal Palace have lost their last 2 games. They lost against Manchester United on Sunday, where they went 1-0 up and threw it away. And they even lost to Strasbourg in the Conference League, though. But however, this is going to be a tight game, though, for both sides, though. However, I think Crystal Palace have been, the far more organised and stable team, this season so far. I'm actually going to go 3-1 Crystal Palace on this one. Next up, we got Wolves versus Nottingham Forest. Wolves, they are absolutely done right now. They sit rock bottom, 20th place this season right now with only 2 points. 11 losses, by the way, they've lost in the Premier League this season. They are still yet to pick up their first win this season, though. There's safe to say there's no new manager bounce, is there? Of Rob Edwards there. Nottingham Forest, look, they have looked very good under Sean Dyche so far this season. However, they lost to Brighton, last weekend. And look, it's a tough one to call, man. I'm not going to lie, though. But I feel like Forest should, probably edge it. I'm going to go for a score prediction of Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Up next, we got Leeds United taking on Chelsea. Now, Chelsea were fantastic against Arsenal, being down to 10 men and managing to get a point against the Premier League leaders. Fred said that Chelsea had a brilliant month in November with only 4 wins and 2 draws. In their last 6 games, they are unbeaten right now. I think, Chelsea are in a title race this season. For Leeds, look, now I think Leeds played very well in the second half against Manchester City, but somehow lost late on, which was unlucky for them, though. However, that doesn't change the fact that Daniel Farke is under pressure right now, and Leeds currently sit 18th in the league, level on points with West Ham. We'll get onto West Ham in a minute later in the video. And look, Leeds could potentially, struggle again here. It's going to be another tough game for them. However, fun fact, Leeds did actually beat Chelsea. This was back in 2022 when Chelsea were on their downfall. But this time, Chelsea are a serious team now who are looking to challenge for the Premier League title. So I can only see one winner, and that is Chelsea, which is why I got Chelsea to win this game 3-1. Then we got Liverpool versus Sunderland. Now, looks like Liverpool and Arsenal have managed to pick up 3 points, on Sunday against West Ham, which nobody actually thought it was actually that convincing, though, to be honest, though. But however, look, Liverpool have managed, to get back to winning ways. They currently sit 8th place right now in the league, 1 point behind Sunderland. Sunderland have been absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. However, they currently sit, I think, in 6th place with only 6 wins, 4 draws and 3 losses. 3 of those losses, by the way, for Sunderland, they came away from home, though. They have a good home record right now this season at the Stadium of Light. However, away from home, which potentially struggle here, though. But Sunderland, they can actually cause a threat here, against any team, including the big teams, And I think they can actually do it again here. They can definitely get a result here, a point at Anfield. I'm going to go for a score prediction of Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1. And finally, on Thursday night, we got Manchester United up against West Ham. Now, Manchester United have managed to pick up a very great win away at Crystal Palace, coming from 1-0 down to winning this game 2-1. And we're currently 7th in the Premier League with only 6 wins, 4 draws and 4 losses though right now. Look, the problem with Manchester United we play good against the big teams and then we always play a load of rubbish against the small teams. The problem is that I expect us to be a bit more consistent, playing against, any opposition though, which is not easy though. However, West Ham, they did beat us twice last season though, but right now we're in a far more better position than West Ham. West Ham lost to Liverpool, on Sunday, and they currently sit 17th place with only 3 wins, 2 draws, and 8 losses right now, though. And look, we're in better form than West Ham currently right now, which I think we've been a bit better than them all season, in my opinion, though. And look, I'm going to go for a score prediction of Manchester United to win this game 3-1. It is going to be a hard game, though. I'll be honest, because you never know. West Ham, they can play a low block team, and look, on their day, they can turn up against us. But I need us to be a bit more consistent, so we can go on a good run of games. So, hopefully we can challenge for Europe. But consistency is required right now. That wraps up my Premier League predictions for match week 14. Make sure to like, comment, and follow for more content. Also, guys, I will be live for every single one of these games on TikTok. So make sure you guys stay tuned and join up the stream, guys. And I'll see you lot in the next one. We're getting closer to 2K followers. So make sure you guys keep it up. And I appreciate all the support.